body and everything that comes through the chat room, which I love because it keeps it professional and it keeps everybody in the chat room full of respect and integrity. And that's what we want in business, right? Because that's what this is. It's business. So we have to make sure that everybody's having fun and getting involved and networking on a smooth level. So that is the deal with that. If you're having more difficulty, sometimes the app needs to be updated so you can reinstall it. Uninstall it, reinstall it. It should work like a charm. After that, if you can't get it and it's possibly too far for you or hard for you, simply just email the support team. It's at the bottom of the Spreaker app. If you look down, it'll say contact us or email us for support, and they'll put you right back where you need to go in the game. If you're using the studio, same rules apply if you're running into difficulties. And a lot of times it could be because of the internet. So definitely share. It takes about 15 to 20 business days to be featured on the show. Yeah. Thank you for that information, Promo God. I'm going to start up where I left off here. So Promo God says, to be featured artist on the Kill Shot Hour, please submit MP3 and social media name of the artist to promogod614@gmail.com. So definitely, yeah, I've been noticing that too, Stephanie, that we're submitting MP3s, which is great, but there's no artist name. There's no Facebook profile name. We need a name so when we announce you on the show, we can give the right artist the right credit. Hopefully that's not too hard, because after you record it, you can get your engineer to kind of type in the name of the song and the artist, so everywhere you share it, it pops up. And it also looks professional. And if you notice on the app, since I run the songs on the app, you can go in the chapter section and actually see your name in the list there. And that's what we call our playlist. We call it chapters. And so as the songs are playing, you can actually go into the main screen and see your song on the front of the logo on the main page while the show is airing, while your song is playing. So you get to see your name and everything featured on the show. And I thought that was a great feature right there. Yeah. So definitely put the name in. You will be seen. And Promo God, she has a list of everybody she's going to play before the show starts. So you won't have a hard time being confused about who's playing that night or whatever. And she does give dates and stuff. All you guys got to do is just pay attention to what's going on. And that has a lot to do with not knowing what's going on. We got to get more involved in speaking and communicating to each other. So that way we understand where we're all coming from, and this can move smooth as possible. So shout out and salute to you, Promo God, for the announcement. I appreciate that. The app is slow for me, so I just use the browser. Spreaker sometimes has to be manually updated. Absolutely, it does. And it's annoying when you have stuff at the last minute to do, and there's a lot of troubleshooting involved. And you have that time, cool. If you don't, I totally understand. But what I like about it is flexible. So if you don't actually have to use Spreaker to put stuff on Spreaker, and I think that's a dope move. And I'm just glad that you were able to take advantage of the monetization. If you haven't, get involved, because you can get, this guy to write you a check for these awesome, dope shows for yourself. So, look into that if that's something you want to do, but it's super awesome how it's flexible both ways. You can either use the actual studio or you can upload from other RSS feeds. So I thought that was amazing. So yeah, appreciate that. Please, thanks for sharing that with us. And what else was I going to say? One-click distribution to all digital platforms. So I'm not separately sharing. I'm only separately sharing just to let you know that is another outlet you can use to promote. You can actually listen to yourself on the other outlets, and also share with your friends and family as well that yes, you are on Spotify. Yes, you are on iHeartRadio. Yes, you are on Castbox FM. Yes, you are on Deezer, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, which Boss Ladies Radio is top 100 over 72 countries, things like that. So definitely you're heard all over the world through that digital platform alone, along with Spreaker and a few others, including Geo7, iHeartRadio, and such. So you're heard on all of that all at one time. Spreaker airs it first, and then in 24 hours you will appear on those platforms I just mentioned. So So one-click distribution is exactly that. That includes your promo marketing materials, including your own episodes, which we both customize together as a team to make sure that your episode is full of you, only you, and what you are and who you are and how we can network with you. So that's the point of that, which we'll be talking about Boss Ladies Radio Show services in the second half. Stats on downloads, likes, and plays comes out every single Sunday. So you'll notice that I'll say congratulations to all these artists that played on these episodes. Congratulations, because those shows that you were playing on were top shows of the week. So top shows of the week will be announced in your social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and such, about how well you're doing as far as your numbers go in plays, downloads, and likes. Here, the importance is downloads. The other importance is likes. The other importance is plays, but downloads is the meat and greet of this all. So the more that you come in the chat room, which I say all the time, the more spins, which means not me just playing your music over and over and over, but actually new participants and new listeners come into these episodes and actually take a listen as well. So you might look up and you'll have 10 likes that night and 12 downloads. Well, you'll look up the following 3 days and you'll have 5 new listeners. You might not be able to see them because it requires a small fee to do so, but I think it's worth the investment because you get to see how well you're doing. And I think that's great as far as it becoming a package deal for you. So, yes, indeed. So if you haven't taken advantage of the Boss Ladies Radio Show services, please feel free to send that email to me for your request. When did you want to book? And we can get you started right away. Whether it's a voiceover or just a simple video of you showcasing your business, or actually your MP3 of, your music, your mixtape, your single, your album, and things like that. Oh, we are lit in the chat room, y'all. So thanks for the networking there. And then, so that's what we do as far as the stats and things and how we're keeping up. I think this is an easy way for me because I'm a busy person, got a full-time job, so I can only do this twice a week. So it's a 24/7 podcast. So don't feel like you've missed anything. You might have missed the live, but you haven't missed the actual show. And replay does start after 7 p.m. tonight, where you can go back in, chat like you did when it was 6 o'clock, and get with the new listeners that might come in after the show. And if you want to come back to this a week later, you can still come in the chat room, chat with the new listeners, welcome them back to the episode, or whatever. And also, this is also a free download. Every single episode is a free download, so feel free to download for free. On the house, on me. Know what I'm talking about? Yes. And without further ado, let's get some EDU in our live show. 4 ways to deal with nerves during post-lockdown shows. Nerves. We're going to find that at blog.reverbnation.com/2021/09/deal-with-nerves-post-lockdown. While it's clear that the pandemic isn't going to have a defined endpoint, musicians of every genre and background are beginning to get back on stages around the world again, and audiences couldn't be happier. As you make your way back to the world of live shows, you might be surprised to discover that you feel oddly nervous about performing again. Some reading this might be musicians with years of performance experience. But the truth is that more than a year of sitting out live shows is a long time to be away from the stage, even if you're a seasoned pro. Combine that with anxiety you might have about being indoors with crowds of people again, and you've got a recipe of performance-related nerves. Here are a few tips to help fight stage fright before you post-lockdown shows. Prepare for important venue shows with low-key house shows. This is interesting. If it's been a long time since you played in front of other human beings, consider setting up a low-pressure performance in your living room, backyard, or local park. You can live stream your show and play it in front of a couple friends and family members. One performance is as valuable as a dozen practices, even if that performance isn't at a venue. Setting up a low-key show on your own terms is a great way to ease nerves before you get back to playing conventional venue concerts. Looking for your next gig? Search Reverb Nation opportunities today. Meditate. Meditation has always been one of the best methods for combating pre-show nerves. And it's even more important now as we venture back to venues after a long, unexpected hiatus. Stage fright often comes from someone's fear of the countless mishaps that could occur during their performance, forgetting lyrics, playing the wrong parts at the wrong times, putting the capo on the wrong fret of the guitar, and playing excruciatingly out of the tune from the rest of the band. Instead of running away from these fears, meditation calms you down by giving you a space to confront and deal with them. You'll feel calmer and more confident when you realize mistakes are inevitable in your performances and that the audience cares far more about passionate playing than flawless performances. Practice more than you think you should. This is an obvious tip, but it's worth mentioning. If you practice your sets over and over again before you post lockdown shows, you'll head back to stages armed with as much musical preparation and confidence as you possibly have. You might have years and years of playing experience under your belt, but being out of the game for a year or more means that you're probably rustier than you've been in a long time. By practicing more than you think you need to, you'll be able to combat stage fright with the knowledge that you've done everything humanly possible to prepare from a musical standpoint. Realize we're not back to normal and prepare accordingly. Huge. Oh, I like this already. Many predicted we'd be back to some sense of normalcy by now as a society, and we're nowhere close, unfortunately. Musicians are frustrated, fans are fed up, and music venues around the world are still reeling from the impacts of the pandemic. As a performer, expecting a transformed venue landscape before you get back to playing shows will help you stave off nerves before important shows. This could mean last-minute show changes, stressful restrictions, and tenser playing environments than you're probably used to. You also might be overcome by nerves simply because you haven't been inside a room with crowds of people for a long time. If you anticipated stressors ahead of time, my point, your shows will go smoother and your nerves will be calmed. If you think being indoors in close proximity to crowds might stress you out, gradually expose yourself to those situations in public before your show, not at the venue. And if you approach post-lockdown shows with as much patience as possible, you'll be able to diffuse your stress and focus on your performance. There's no shame in feeling some stage fright as you get back on stage again, whether you're a professional musician or are still new to performing. Keep in mind that the fans you play for are also feeling similar anxiety even though they're not the ones playing. I'm going to read that again. Keep in mind that the fans you play for are also feeling similar anxiety even though they're not the ones playing. With a little preparation and patience, you'll be able to keep your nerves in check and put on a great show. Patrick McGuire is a writer, musician, and human man. He lives nowhere in particular, creates music under the name Straight White Teeth, and has a great affinity for dogs and putting his hands in his pockets, and that is our EDU for our lives. And up next, we gonna really set it off with the ladies. After that Drazy drop, we got some Miss Fabulous Lost in Time off that 25L Clem mixtape, Love Chronicles mixtape, and I think after the breakup mixtape, I got too many mixtapes, y'all. Stay tuned, don't go nowhere.
Hey, yo, it's your boy Drazy, CEO, DJ, and programmer for Dre's Radio Cafe. You got a banging cut that you want to be heard? Got a show coming up? A gig? You want to sell some products? You name it. Send it to Dre's Radio Cafe. Dre's Radio Cafe is a 24/7 internet radio station designed with you in mind. By being heard by 150,000 listeners every month. What does that mean to you? That means more than just going to YouTube, more than just going to Google, more than just having SoundCloud up, more than just having any of the other programs set up, alright? So check this out. What I want you to do is send your banging cuts, your ads, anything that you have involved that you want to get involved with to DREZEY21@yahoo.com. That's DREZEY21@yahoo.com. That's Dre's Radio Cafe, 24/7 radio, designed with you in mind. What y'all sipping on? Let's go.